Riddle me this. You've got 1,000 books burned a hole in your pocket, and you need a laptop that can do it all. What do you get? The new M3 MacBook Air? No, I'm telling you, the best laptop you can get for that cash is the M1 Pro MacBook Pro. And look, this right here is my M1 Pro MacBook Pro, 16 inches of glory. That's been my main workstation for the last 3 years. You can definitely tell it's been through a lot. There is something rattling inside. Listen to this. The ports scratched to oblivion, the keyboard glossy as heck. It's seen better days, but guess what? Even beaten up like this, I still think there is no better laptop for the money. And you can get the 14-inch M1 Pro right now for as low as $1069, and the 16-inch, like mine, for just $1229. That's nuts when you think about the performance and features you're getting. Now, I know some of you are thinking, why not just hit up Apple's refurbished section and grab the new M3 14-inch for $1359, or even the M3 MacBook Air for $929? Well, let me break it down. Sometimes Apple just makes something so good it feels immortal. Look at the 2018 iPad Pro. It still looks modern and has all the features, Face ID, ProMotion. This MacBook Pro, same deal, but even better. If I walk into Starbucks right now with this MacBook, no one's gonna know it's 3 years old. Why? Because the new ones look exactly the same. Same design, same notch, same ports. If you care about aesthetics, this thing still makes you look fresh. All right, so my laptop's been through a lot. It's a work machine, so what do you expect, right? I can just toss it in a bag, throw that bag under the seat on the plane, not even think twice, and then the next day, I pull it out, and guess what? Still looks great, still runs like a dream. There's just something about how sturdy it is. It gives me that no worries feeling every time. Like, I know 100% that when I need it, my MacBook Pro is going to get the job done. Now, I can't say the same for MacBook Airs. They're just too light, man. Like, yeah, they look nice, but you don't get that same feeling of confidence. And no matter what anyone says, inside and out, they just don't feel like they're built for heavy-duty work. Here's the bottom line. You buy a MacBook Pro when you're aiming high. When you know you're going to need that power, you grab a MacBook Air when you just need a modern MacBook for basic stuff. Simple as that. But when you start looking at prices, the Air really doesn't seem like a good deal. For one thing, no fans, which means all that supposed power the M3 chip has over the M1 Pro, useless the second the machine heats up. Well, sure, the Air might be faster at quick tasks, but the minute you dive into anything more demanding, like video editing, it's game over. If you're like me and you use your Mac for work, you know it's not just about having the right computer, it's also about the tools you use. And sometimes finding such tools is quite a challenge, especially when it comes to SEO. And we do a lot of that before publishing our videos. And that's exactly where SEO Rocket AI comes into play. It's a powerful platform that simplifies keyword research and helps me take content to the next level. After typing in a keyword, it gives me a list of valuable, low competition keywords along with the data on search volume and difficulty. It highlights the most promising keywords, those with the highest search volumes but the lowest competition, so that I can focus my content on what really matters. Based on the keywords I choose, it creates a detailed topic map for the content. This means I don't have to come up with a content strategy myself. SEO Rocket AI does it for me. Whether I'm working on a website, a YouTube channel, or even a social media page, the tool has my back. But the real magic happens after I pick a certain topic. SEO Rocket AI can generate an optimized copy complete with the right keywords. And to make sure I'm not just getting an SEO-friendly piece, but something that's actually engaging, the tool includes a readability and competitiveness score. Kind of like vidIQ for videos. This way, I can refine my text before it goes live. SEO Rocket AI also offers a convenient scheduling tool so that I can plan and automate my content release. Plus, I can keep an eye on my page rankings and monitor my competitors with its built-in dashboard. In short, with SEO Rocket AI, boosting my business and making a name for myself is easier than ever. And the best part is that you can grab an awesome lifetime plan in AppSumo. Just click the link in the description. Don't miss out. Your next big growth opportunity is just a click away. All right, let's dive into the memory situation. Honestly, this deserves a whole video of its own. And lucky for you, we've made one already. So if you're in the market for a Mac, make sure to check that one out. But here's the short version. The M3 MacBook Air that everyone's hyping up comes with 8 gigs of unified memory by default. And trust me, that's not enough for anything serious. Now, if you've been paying attention to those base 14-inch M4 MacBook Pro unboxings, you'll notice something. 16 gigs is the new minimum, at least for the Pro models. With just 8 gigs, you're basically crippled. There is no way around it. On the flip side, this MacBook is packing 16 gigs minimum. Now, don't get me wrong, 16 gigs is just enough these days, but it's a huge step up from 8. In all the years I've been using this machine, I've never run into issues with multitasking or heavy apps, and when I do eventually upgrade, I'm probably going for 16 gigs again. But let's not get too hung up in the fact that it's better than the Air. That's not exactly a high bar to clear. I really want to highlight another thing that never lets me down: the display. We're talking 16 inches, 500 nits, Pro Motion, P3 color gamut. Honestly, it's one of the best screens I've ever used. The colors are vibrant, the animations are silky smooth, and the brightness is more than enough even on a sunny day. That said, a quick heads up, be careful with the size. For me, 16 inches turned out to be a bit too much. Right now I'm thinking 14 inches would have been a better choice. The 16 inches is just too big for working on the plane, train, or bus. Even carrying it around can be a hassle because it's a bit on the heavy side. So if I were you, I'd go for the 14 inch. It's the perfect size for pretty much everything, except maybe watching movies. Plus, it's cheaper. Like I said before, $1,069, that's a steal. Another thing to consider with these M1 Pro Macs is storage. Most of the low price ones you'll find come with 512 gigs, that's the base config. Now, if you look around, you can score some good deals and models with 1 terabyte of storage, but that price jump might not always be worth it. I mean, at some point, spending an extra $100 or more on an SSD you might never fully use doesn't really make a lot of sense. Personally, I went with the 1 terabyte option because, well, being a YouTuber kind of demands it. I've got tons of footage and projects to store, so it made sense for me. But for most people, you might be better off grabbing an external SSD instead. It's cheaper, more flexible, and it's great for keeping your work files separate from your personal stuff. So before you decide, take a minute to really think about how much space you actually need. And if you're one of those tech-savvy folks who's all about benchmarks and raw performance, I'm gonna be real with you. You might not love what I have to say. I'm not getting into that today. Ever since the M1 dropped, benchmarks have kind of lost their meaning. They don't reflect the real-world performance anymore. All those big numbers are cool for showing off, but they won't tell you how your machine actually handles day-to-day tasks. And Blender classroom tests, those results won't translate into a real experience. So trust me when I say this, okay? I'm sharing real experience here. And from it, the M1 Pro is still an absolute beast. Crushes any app, handles everything I throw at it, and stays surprisingly cool and quiet while doing it. Now, sure, if you're trying to do some super heavy 3D rendering or edit 4K ProRes 422 footage like those 120 FPS videos shot on the new iPhone 16 Pro, it's gonna start showing its age. But where the M1 Pro slows down, the MacBook Air would completely tap out. I don't do a ton of editing anymore, but I had my buddy who rocks an M3 Max 16-inch use my MacBook for a day. Wanna know what he said? He barely noticed the difference. Rendering took a bit longer, but the overall editing experience was still buttery smooth. Now, let's talk about future-proofing. Apple Intelligence, when it finally rolls out, it's gonna work perfectly on this Mac. It's got a strong neural engine, so all your AI-powered stuff, writing tools, image generation, whatever, it's gonna run just as fast as in the newer M3 or M4 chips. And if an app is well optimized, like a game or something, it's gonna run beautifully. I can still play all the Apple Silicon optimized games on high settings with no problems. Here's something that most people get wrong about this Mac. Just because it's 3 years old doesn't mean it's suddenly useless. It's not like it's turned into a potato overnight. In reality, it's still on par with a lot of the Macs Apple is selling today. The display is nearly as bright. Honestly, that 100 nit difference in the newer models isn't all that noticeable. Pro Motion is still silky smooth. The speakers are just as loud and clear. And if you're watching movies, it's going to feel pretty much identical to the experience in the newest Mac. Now, performance-wise, yeah, the M1 Pro has taken a small hit compared to the newer chips, but let's be real, it's still holding its own. It's not far behind in my opinion. The only real issue I'm having right now has nothing to do with the initial package this laptop offered and has everything to do with the normal wear and tear. My battery has taken a bit of a beating over time. When I first got it, I could easily go through a full work day without needing to charge, and I'd still have some juice left. Now, I'm charging twice a day or just leaving it plugged in. And by the way, I've racked up 562 charge cycles and the battery health is at 82%. So this is something to expect after using it for a few years. What I really want to make clear is this: don't treat this MacBook like it's the latest $2,000 MacBook Pro. I'd call it the Pro for the masses. It's not fit for those insane workflows anymore. If you're a serious pro doing crazy 8K video editing or massive renderings, you're not buying this one. You're going for the M3 Pro, M3 Max, or M4 Pro. At least that's where you'll get the horsepower you need. But if what you want is a reliable, powerful, long-lasting MacBook without dropping a fortune, this is your go-to, especially at these prices. $1,069 for a machine with Pro display, Pro design, Pro performance. What more could you want? And if you're still unsure which Mac to buy, we've got a haul video on that, so check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there.